What if I told you that the secret to mastering your emotions has been hidden in plain sight for over 2,000 years? Not in modern psychology books, not in self-help seminars, but carved into the soul of ancient Stoic wisdom. A simple mental shift, so powerful, it can transform the way you feel, react, and connect. This isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about commanding them, because real power is calm in chaos. In this video, we'll explore a forgotten Stoic brain hack that rewires how you think, unlocking a higher emotional intelligence that few ever reach. You'll discover how ancient thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus trained their minds not just to survive, but to transcend emotional storms. Stay with me till the end, and I'll share a practical ritual you can use to elevate your emotional awareness starting today. Like what you hear so far, hit subscribe and join the seekers of inner strength. Let's begin with a question. What if your emotions were never the problem? What if the real issue was how you interpret them? The Stoics believed something revolutionary, that emotions are not forces of nature, they are judgments. Yes, fear, anger, sadness, they arise not from what happens, but from what we think about what happens. Pause for a moment. Let that sink in. You don't become angry because someone insulted you. You become angry because you've decided, consciously or not, that their words have power over you. This is the essence of the Stoic brain hack. It's not things that disturb us, said Epictetus, but our opinion about them. And this is where emotional intelligence begins. The hidden circuit between stimulus and response. Modern science confirms what the Stoics intuited centuries ago. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our reaction. And in our response lies our growth, our freedom, our peace. The Stoics mastered that space. They trained their minds not to react, but to reflect, not to suppress emotion, but to see it clearly as it arises. It's not suppression, it's sovereignty. Imagine anger bubbling up. Instead of acting on it, the Stoic pauses. He asks, is this worth my energy? Does this serve my nature? Or am I just feeding the fire of ego? This is how they hack the brain, by interrupting the autopilot and replacing it with awareness. The ancient rewire, premeditatio malorum. One of the most powerful techniques used by the Stoics was called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They visualized worst-case scenarios before they happened, but not to invite fear, to deaf on it, to render it powerless. You wake up in the morning, and you imagine, what if I lost everything today? My status, my comfort, my health. Would I still be me? You strip life to its bare essentials, and what remains is truth. This ancient practice trains the mind to remain unshaken, because when adversity actually comes, it's not a surprise. You've already met it in the theater of your mind, and when you meet it calmly, you are no longer its victim. You are its master, the observer within. The Stoics spoke often of the inner citadel, a fortress of calm at the center of the soul. It is the part of you that watches, not reacts. The part that notices your emotions rise, but does not become them. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the core of emotional intelligence. It's not about being robotic. It's about being rooted. To be able to feel deeply without drowning. To see a wave of sadness and say, there you are. And let it pass without letting it control you. This is the observer within. And when you learn to stand in that place, you become unshakable. Fire of misconceptions. But let's break something wide open. Stoicism is not the rejection of emotion. That's a myth. One of the most dangerous. Stoicism isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about clarity. It's about understanding that emotions are guides, not gods. You can feel anger and choose not to lash out. You can feel grief and choose to face it with dignity. The Stoic doesn't run from feelings. He simply refuses to be ruled by them. This distinction changes everything. A metaphor of the mind, the charioteer. Imagine your mind as a chariot. Your emotions, the wild, powerful horses. They pull hard. They move fast. They don't always listen. But your reason, your higher self, is the charioteer. If the horses run wild, they crash you into chaos. But with discipline, attention, and training, you guide them, you direct them, you harness their power. Emotional intelligence, through the Stoic lens, is not taming the horses by beating them into submission. It's learning their nature and leading them with wisdom. Little-known Stoic insight, voluntary discomfort. Here's a lesser-known Stoic technique that rewires emotional patterns. Voluntary discomfort. Seneca, the Roman Stoic, would sleep on the floor, walk without shoes, wear simple clothes. Why? To prove to himself that comfort is not a necessity, but a preference. That fear of hardship is worse than hardship itself. This habit trained his brain to detach emotion from external conditions. You lose the promotion? You've already practiced letting go. You face criticism? You've already trained your ego not to flinch. Emotional intelligence isn't just learned. It's forged in moments of chosen adversity. Now, let me ask you, when was the last time you paused, truly paused, to examine the story behind your emotions? Not the surface-level explanation, but the deep root. Because underneath every outburst, every spiral, every moment of frustration, there is a belief, and you can rewrite it, not with denial, but with discipline, not by silencing emotions, but by illuminating them with reason. So how do you apply this ancient brain hack today? Start small. Begin with awareness. When an emotion rises, pause and ask yourself, what story am I telling myself right now? Name the feeling. Observe it. Trace it. Don't react. Reflect. Practice the Stoic pause. Just 5 seconds between emotion and action. That tiny space is your battlefield and your victory. Next, embrace premeditatio malorum. Each morning, imagine one thing going wrong. Not to live in fear, but to rehearse resilience. This builds an emotional immune system. So when chaos knocks, you won't flinch. And once a week, choose voluntary discomfort. Sleep without a pillow. Skip the luxury. Walk in silence. Not to suffer, but to remember, you are more than your comforts. Emotional intelligence isn't about always being calm. It's about training your mind to respond, instead of being ruled. And if you do this, if you choose to lead your emotions, not be led, you become a rare kind of human. You become untouchable. What emotion controls you the most? And are you ready to face it? If this spoke to you, let the ancient wisdom live on. Like, share, subscribe, and keep walking the path of inner mastery.